Taylor Sheridan's original Yellowstone pitch confirms Kevin Costner's feud over John Dutton makes zero sense. Not since the days of Dallas and cliffhangers like the infamous Who Shot JR have television dramas captivated audiences in the way that Taylor Sheridan's Yellowstone has. The neo-Western series, led by Oscar winner Kevin Costner, galloped towards global popularity faster than anyone expected. Despite all that success, Yellowstone wasn't free from behind-the-scenes drama, and most of it came from the tension between Sheridan and Costner. Reports quickly surfaced about a growing feud between them, with Costner allegedly unhappy with the darker direction John Dutton was meant to take. In Costner's eyes, John was a patriarch who was fiercely protective of his land and legacy, and the character had started to cross moral lines Costner was not comfortable with. Yet, Sheridan's vision for Yellowstone has always been crystal clear. The power struggles, blood feuds, and moral compromise were never meant to be simple plot twists. They were the entire point. Sheridan's vision wasn't slowly getting darker. The darkness was embedded in the series' original DNA. If Costner truly took issue with Dutton getting blood on his hands, then perhaps the real problem wasn't Sheridan's writing, but Costner's expectations. Yellowstone was Taylor Sheridan's ode to Mario Puzo's mafia epic. Sheridan's original pitch for Yellowstone was very clear. In a now-famous profile in The Hollywood Reporter, the writer-director reveals that his original pitch for his neo-Western series was The Godfather in Montana. The concept wasn't just a tagline for Sheridan, but the entire blueprint that shaped the series and its overarching story as a whole. Sheridan initially conceived Yellowstone as a film. The story focused on the Dutton family, proprietors of the largest ranch in Montana, buried in struggles that are serious echoes of the Corleone family's saga in Mario Puzo's The Godfather. Sheridan first presented this concept to HBO when he leaned away from Yellowstone being a feature film and towards it becoming a more serialized story. While the network was initially interested, it ended up passing on the project, with executives expressing concerns that the show's focus on Middle America didn't align with HBO's prestige TV brand image. One executive reportedly said, "It feels so Middle America. We're HBO. We're avant-garde. We're trendsetters. This feels like a step backward." This, however, didn't stop Sheridan's determination to get his vision made. Sheridan shifted gears and took the project to Paramount Network, where it ultimately found a very receptive audience. The series premiered in 2018, bringing to life the complex dynamics of the Dutton family. From the very beginning, Yellowstone did not shy away from showing every character's darker side. That's what made the series so engaging in the first place. While the Duttons were, at their core, good people, it didn't stop them from making questionable decisions. In the pilot, Case Dutton, John's youngest son, kills his wife's brother, setting a precedent for the series' exploration of violence and moral ambiguity. Rip Wheeler embodies a sense of vigilantism, going to great and even dangerous lengths to protect the ranch. Beth Dutton's ruthless tactics to protect her father's legacy further underscore Yellowstone being a neo-Western echo of The Godfather. Sheridan wanted to portray the American West not as a romanticized frontier, but as a modern-day battleground where power, loyalty, and survival are in constant conflict. Kevin Costner's expectations of the role and Sheridan's vision were a recipe for disaster. Costner's portrayal of John Dutton was met with acclaim, but as Yellowstone progressed, reports began to surface about his growing discomfort with the character's trajectory. Specifically, Costner was uneasy with Dutton increasingly leaning more into moral ambiguity and violence. Costner believed these shifts betrayed the character's foundational principles of family and stewardship over the land. Sheridan addressed these concerns, stating that Costner was upset during Season 2, and Sheridan's response was a reminder of the series' original pitch. Sheridan stressed that the show's core themes were all about power struggles and the blurring of the moral lines, much like the narrative of The Godfather. He acknowledged that while Costner's focus was on Dutton's commitment to his family and the cowboy way of life, the original story was always meant to explore the darker aspects and the burdens of maintaining such a family legacy. Sheridan did take these concerns into consideration as Season 3 steered Dutton back in a direction that aligned with what Costner wanted. The course correction led to Costner receiving critical acclaim and a Golden Globe nomination and win in 2023. Despite all that, Costner's worries were unfounded. Dutton's actions in Season 2 weren't detours or a betrayal to who John Dutton was as a character. There were markers and signs about what kind of story Sheridan was telling from the very beginning. Even when one considers Dutton's ultimate fate, yes, it was rushed, but it was always meant to lead to his death. Ultimately, the tension between Costner and Sheridan didn't stop with Dutton's character arc, as scheduling conflicts eventually became an issue. For Costner to object to a character's descent into morally muddy territory is to show how much he didn't fully grasp or understand the vision that Sheridan had for the show before he signed on to it. In The Godfather, Michael Corleone didn't become a killer in spite of his legacy. He became one because of it. Whether Costner liked it or not, John Dutton was simply riding his horse on that same trail. The Godfather never asked for permission, and neither should John Dutton. The behind-the-scenes Yellowstone drama may have appeared as gripping as the series itself, but when one zooms out, the logic behind Costner's alleged unhappiness quickly unravels. Sheridan never sold Yellowstone as a romanticized or nostalgic ode to the American frontier. From the very beginning, he pitched it as The Godfather in Montana, a family legacy drama built on blood and betrayal, and every episode of Yellowstone cemented that vision. John Dutton was never meant to be a typical Western hero. Yes, he was a man who was bound by land and family, but he was also shaped by the bloody cost of protecting and keeping them. Costner's criticism of that moral complexity simply proved that he didn't fully resonate or understand the entire foundation that Yellowstone was built on. While Costner's performance enriched the series and made Dutton into an iconic TV patriarch, the logic behind his worries that Dutton was becoming too ruthless will forever make zero sense.